Hi guys, it's Jordan, and today I'm going to take you through a short little stress relief for finals week sequence. So we'll get started on our mats today in a child's pose. So your knees can be either together or slightly further apart. Allow the big toes to touch, hips to sink back, then crawling the hands forward, allowing the forehead to ground down. And grounding of the forehead, and then closing of the eyes down. And immediately starting to deepen and just notice your breath. It's the most powerful and amazing tool that we've been given to release stress, to tune in, to drop all the worries. So focusing that direct attention right onto your breath. So let the inhales fill the low belly, through the side bodies, all the way to the top of the chest. And release back down from the chest, through the side bodies, all the way into the belly. 2 more long, deep breaths in. Inhale fills the belly, sides of lungs, top of chest. And exhale, release all the breath out. Last one, make it richer and deeper than the last. Now continuing this deep, steady breathing, but also now with the eyes closed, just turning this gaze inward. So once our mind is still, our bodies are still, but our breath is the only thing that's moving, we're able to find this flipped gaze. We're able to see this spark inside of us. This spark that allows us to be our complete selves, have so much power over our inner experience and our inner journeys. And this power to really see your heart space, your thoughts, your minds, and cultivate this deep intention. Next inhale, we'll rise up into a tabletop. So let the shoulders stack right over the wrists, hips over the heels. And allow yourself to take some slow cat-cows. On your inhales, the belly drops and the gaze goes up. And on your exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the chin in, pulling the back body up towards the sky. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts up. And exhale as you press the earth away, tucking the chin in towards your chest. Keep moving and flowing through some cat-cows. And each round of cat-cows, keep layering on your breath. And I'll keep saying that all throughout. It's the most important tool. This life force that gets us through the tough times, the easy times, it's always there with us. And eventually coming back to a neutral spine, we'll start to crawl the fingers forward, finding a puppy dog pose, melting the chest down towards the mat, keeping the hips stacked over the knees. Maybe your forehead grounds down, maybe it's the chin, maybe the chest. Breathing into the back body, the shoulders. Next inhale, we'll slide forward, rolling onto our bellies and finding a Sphinx pose. Elbows under shoulders, tops of feet grounded to the earth. Maybe you tap the feet a couple times, feeling all 10 toenails grounded back down the mat. Allow the chest to pull through the gate of the arms. And finding this balance of stretch and strength here. Relaxing shoulders, the squeezing the inner thighs, the big toes in towards the center. On your next exhale, lower the chin down towards the mat. Recall the fingers off the sides of our mats, making little tents with our hands, big toes in towards the center, chin in the center of the mat. Next inhale, rise up, king cobra, spread the collarbones. And exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift and feel tops of feet root down. And exhale, lower back down. Last time, inhale, lift up. This time, drop the right shoulder down and peek over the left shoulder. Inhale, back through center, lift the heart. And exhale, left shoulder drops, look over the right shoulder. We'll meet back up in center, deep breath in. And a deep breath out lowers you down. Palms plant under the shoulders. We'll press it back up through tabletop. Then we'll tuck our toes under, lift the hips high, and find a downward facing dog. Allowing some movement into your down dog by pedaling out the feet, maybe shaking the head side to side. Hollowing out this low belly, and driving all 10 finger pads into the top of the mat. Maybe you close down your eyes here, and finding that same stillness you did in that child's pose. This time, a little more challenge, a little more strength involved. So knowing that each time we add on challenge into our daily lives, no matter how much it is, we always have this amazing power to come back to stillness, to our breath, to our intentions and our truths of life. Next, inhale, look to the top of your mat. And start to walk the feet up to meet the hands. Feet will be about hips width distance, grabbing for opposite elbows, and then letting the crown of the head hang heavy. Maybe you find a slight bounce in the upper body, pulling the forearms down towards the mat. And then releasing that grip. On your inhale, we'll rise all the way up to standing, feeling each vertebrae one at a time. And then the head is last to come up. Extend the arms overhead, full body stretching. And exhale, dive it back down, forward folds. On your next inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. And keep fingertips on the mat or bring hands to shins. And exhale, fold back down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Deep breath in from heels to fingertips. And exhale, hinge at the waist, forward fold. Lift up halfway, flat spine. And exhale, release. Last time, rise all the way up. Maybe add a little back bend this time, pressing the hips forward. And release, forward fold. Lift up halfway, flat spine. Palms will plant, we'll step it back to our downward facing dog. Next inhale, right heel sweeps high. You can open up the hip, softening the left heel down towards the mat. On your exhale, we'll step the right foot in between the hands and dropping that left knee down. You can keep the fingers on the mat or bring hands up towards the thighs. Maybe arms reach overhead for more energy. But no matter the energy, the strength, the challenge of the pose, you can always find that stillness and that calm, steady mind. And during any pose, any time throughout your day, just closing down the eyes and flipping that gaze inward. Last deep breath here. Then framing that right foot, shifting the hips back into half split, pulling the right toes back towards your face. Lift up halfway, just like that halfway lifts at the top of the mat. And exhale, keeping that length, fold over the right leg. And pulling up on that right hip. And dropping, releasing the crown of the head down. Next inhale, rise back up into that low lunge. Hands can stay on the mat or reach up overhead. And exhale, frame that right foot. We'll We'll tuck the left toes under, step it back to high plank. And then downward facing dog. Hips go high. Next inhale, left heel high. Opening up the hip. And then exhale, step the left foot in between the hands. Right knee drops down. Scooching the right toes back. And feel the top of right foot ground down, all four corners of the left foot. And then keep fingertips down, hands to shins, or let the arms extend overhead. Breathing into the space of the hips, opening up our body. Opening up the body with the breath. Opening up the mind with the breath. Last deep breath in. And then framing this left foot, we'll straighten out the left leg. We'll let toes back towards our face. Lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. And exhale, folding over the left leg. Pulling that left hip up. You soften the upper body more. Next inhale, rebend left knee. You find the fingertips overhead, one breath here. And then framing the left foot, we'll step it, tuck the right toes under, step it back. You can add a little high plank or go right back to down dog. Next inhale, look to the top of your mat. Walk or step the feet up to the hands. Lift up halfway. And exhale, forward folds. We'll heel toe feet out about mat width distance. Heels in, toes out. And drop the hips low into your yogi squats or malasana. Hands at heart center. You shift side to side, opening up all the tension in the hips. And let the fingertips find the mat. On your inhale, we'll lift the hips up, straightening the legs out. Keeping the feet as is, then dropping the crown of the head, maybe shaking it side to side. And then exhale, rebend into the knees, slowly lower the hips back down. One more time, inhale, straighten the legs, drop the head. Just getting some nice movement into our bodies. And exhale, lower the hips back down. And then we'll plant the palms, step it back into downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. On your next inhale, look to the top of your mat. And then step the feet up to meet the hands. Lift up halfway. Exhale, fold back down. Rise all the way up to standing. We'll rise up onto the tippy toes. Feeling all 10 toes tucked under. And then slowly bring hands to heart center and lower hips down towards the heels. So I know this can be very relaxing, but it's so good to stretch out our feet, our toes. You can drop the knees to the mat or keep them up. But now just breathing into the feet, the ankles. Last breath here. And then slowly lowering the hips down towards the mat. Bring the soles of the feet into touch, knees nice and wide. Sit up nice and tall with the breath in. And a breath out as you fold over, dropping the chest. Forehead down towards the mat. Maybe instead you choose to round the spine, dropping crown of head down, just depending on how your hips are feeling. Next breath in, rising back up. We'll extend the feet out in front of us. We'll let the soles or palms of the hands rest alongside our hips. Flexing the toes back towards our face, sitting up nice and tall. So just preparing ourselves for a forward fold, but creating this length in the spine first. So reaching crown of head up tall, growing out of that lower back, up to the side bodies. And then on your exhale, start to hinge at the waist, crawling the fingers forward, maybe reach for the shins, the ankles, locking the wrists. And then let this next exhale fold you over. Sending each deep breath into the backs of the legs. Next inhale, lift up halfway. And we'll start to walk the hands back up and slowly lower all the way onto our backs. And let the knees hug in towards our chest. And then extending the feet up towards the sky. So finding an inversion here. You can keep legs up the wall as is, or you can find a shoulder stand, lifting the hips up, placing the hands on the low back. And if you're in shoulder stand, continue to walk the elbows in towards the center. And pressing the earth away with the upper arms. In this pose here, an inversion, legs up the wall or shoulder stand, is meant to be held for a long time at the end of practice, just to integrate everything, the mind, the body, the spirit. And feel the deep work of your practice start to grow. We'll hold here for 3 more breaths. And slowly lower knees in towards the chest, lowering the back and the hips onto the mat. And then hugging the knees in towards your armpits, grabbing a hold of outside edges or big toes, wherever is most comfortable. And finding your happy baby, drawing knees towards the armpits. And then first feel the low belly, low back glued to the mat. And let the shoulders glue to the mat. And just visualize this rectangle. Shoulders to hips. Maybe you straighten out the legs, shift side to side. And then eventually hugging knees back in towards your chest. Across right knee over left knee. And then arms out to T. Let the legs fall over towards the left side of the mat. As the gaze shifts right over the right fingertips. Softening that right shoulder down. Next inhale, coming through center. We'll switch out the cross, left knee over right knee. Legs dropping over towards the right as you shift the gaze to the left. This time visualize softness from right collarbone to left collarbone. And let that relax your left shoulder down. And coming back through center, uncross the legs. We'll bring forehead up to meet the knees, giving ourselves a big squeeze. And on your next exhale, letting the legs go long, the back of the head rest on the mat. Allowing the eyes to close down. And feeling an immense sensation of gratitude for your physical body, your mind, your spirits. And gratitude is one of the most important tools, along with the breath, to become so present in the moment that it's all you can think about, and you're just so grateful and joyful, full of life, that all the stresses release. You're focused on the most important things. Finding gratitude here for whatever it may be, your body, your intention that you set, your breath, and letting it fill you up. And feeling it, seeing it, believing it in your entire body. Let it resonate with you here as you find your last few moments in Shavasana. You can always stay here for longer. We'll start to wiggle fingers and toes. And extending arms overhead, a full body stretch. And hugging knees in towards your chest. Taking some rock side to side. And rolling onto one side, finding a fetal position. A beautiful representation of a new beginning, a new start, no matter what time of day. And no matter the situation, you can always start and begin your day again, begin your new mindsets. And then rising up to a seat at the top of your mat. Keeping eyes closed, bringing hands to heart center. Just tapping back and keeping this commitment with you that you have the power to tap into this deep state, tap into this inner world of yourself, tap into this gratitude. Most importantly, use this deep breath to your advantage. There's so many incredible tools and gifts of this yoga practice that can really just lead us to the best version of ourselves, best lives we can possibly live. Next inhale, extending the arms overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Bowing into ourselves as we seal our practice in. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me for this nice stress relief flow. I hope it wasn't stressful. Good luck on finals. You all will do amazing, and I will see you all soon. Thank you so